Well, I gotta tell you, I thought this interview would never happen, Miss Tabitha Brown.
The scheduling is crazy, but honey, here we are. I'm so grateful we made it happen.
I'm so thankful for our time together here. Ask you this question. When you look back, and I mean, let's go way back, did you think this?
No, honey, no. When I look back, I had very distinct plans for my life. It was just an actress, maybe a little producing, but just being an actress was all that I used to dream about. That
Wow.
was it. Never saw all these things. Absolutely not.
Do you get up most days going, I'm actually here in the middle of this?
I pinch myself often like, this is my life, Lord. Like, really?
Oh,
But it also feels very normal for me.
really?
And so I know that I'm living in the life God planned for me because it feels like home. Like
Mm.
I'll be looking around some days like, wow, this is my life. But in my core, it feels completely normal. Like it was always supposed to be this way.
When did you know that it felt normal to you? It's supposed to way it's supposed to always be. Was there a certain year time frame?
When things I've told the story before. So for years, in pursuing acting, I've been pursuing acting for over 20 plus years. And every time I would have an audition, or if I booked the smallest role, it didn't matter what it was, I would come home like this, telling my husband, like, oh my God, this is it. This is gonna be the thing that blow me up. This is it this time, right? Didn't matter how big the film was. It didn't matter if it was a commercial. It didn't matter if I was doing background. It didn't matter. That was going to be the thing that blew me up. And I was all over the place with joy, excitement, just this big belief that I had, but just wild and crazy of excitement. In the last 6 years, as my life has started to change, and this space where people have found me,
Yeah.
my life really did change.
Mm.
My husband came to me about 2, 3 years ago. He said, "Babe, listen, all those years when it was a bunch of little things, you was making $50 or no money. You was on a little bit, a little show or a little, a short film or something like that. Nothing major, but you was at like all over the place, excited and jumping up and down." He said, "But now that things really are happening
Yeah.
and you really making money and like your life, like you really famous." He said, "You not showing me that same excitement that you used to show me
Uh,
back then." He said, "So I'm concerned about you." I said, "You know what it is?" I said, "I realize now I'm where I'm supposed to have been. So
wow.
now I feel like I'm at home." So all the other years, my spirit and my flesh was not in alignment. So while I in the flesh was excited, my spirit was like, "Girl, no, you got to
That
keep
is
going."
not it. That is not it. Yeah. We gotta keep going.
I was all over the place. But now I'm at one with myself. And
Mm.
this is where I'm supposed to be. So now I can be at peace in my joy. I can be at peace in my happiness.
Wow.
I am exactly what God had planned for me to be all along.
Mm. How do you have staying power? When I was researching you the past couple days, and I've enjoyed researching you, by the way, I feel like I know you. And my wife left me a little sticky tab over here going, you do not know her. Do not stalk her this today. So this is like crazy. How have you had staying power in the midst of this?
I mean, I think for me, I've never measured the time. Like now I can say, oh, I've been doing this for over 20 plus years. I was just in the mind of being present and just keep going,
Wow.
right? A friend once said to me, he said, if God had told you 24 years ago, listen, I'm gonna give you all the desires of your heart and then some, but
Mm.
I need 4 years to make it happen. You would have been like, I ain't doing that. That's crazy. He said, but in reality, that's exactly what you did. Because,
Wow.
because I wasn't counting the time. I was
Yeah.
just doing it. And even the times when I thought I was going to give up, when I thought like, oh, I can't do it anymore. I missed out on my chance, or I felt stuck, or I felt like it wasn't going to happen. I still kept going. I still kept pursuing. So uh, it's just, I guess quitting has just never been an option for me. It lives inside of me, this desire to entertain, this desire to make people feel good. It lives inside of me. So I have to do it.
What type of prayer have you been praying? That's my other question where I am like, you can tell you love Jesus. So what kind of prayer do you pray? Like what's your prayer life like? I'm sorry to ask that question, but hope I can ask that question here. What's prayer life like?
For me, prayer life is like I have real conversations with God,
Yeah.
right? You
Okay.
know, people think you got to go to Him and you have to conform even to talk to Him.
Yes.
The voice, oh Lord, I come to you as humble as I like. No, I'd be like, Lord, listen, I got to talk to you about this thing now. What are we doing?
Yeah.
But then there's sometimes where it's just simple as God, I thank you.
Mm,
Like, thank you. Like sometimes that's the prayer.
wow.
But for years, from 2017, I started doing these videos that God had called me to do, and I was being obedient. And as I saw my life started to change, my prayer consistently was, God, enlarge my territory, give me the mental knowledge that I need to keep the blessings you're blessed me with. And I also would pray for the overflow. I was like, God, I want to experience the overflow in my life. But the biggest prayer I ever prayed was, God, if you heal me, you can have me. And I meant it.
Wow.
And, that was 2017. And He had me ever since. He's always had me. But now He has me because I gave myself to Him. I,
Wow.
I was a willing vessel to say, use me, take all of me and allow, your work to be done through me. And every day, that's always still the prayer.
Your creativity, where does this come from? Because I look at your stuff and I go, I am so lazy. I see what you do from the food show to the videos to Target to speaking with me. Like, where does this come from?
It's all organic, right? If you think of all the things that I do, it's all in alignment with how I live my life. I cook, so of course I got seasonings. And I name my hair, I call her Donna. Of course I have Donna's recipe, my own hair care collection, right?
Yes,
Um,
I do know. I do know about the collection. I had to go out one Saturday night. I'm not going to say who in the household needed it to Ulta. And my wife's like, I got to have this. I walked to Ulta here in Atlanta, Georgia, Kennesaw, and I said, do you guys have this? And they said, no. They said, no, we don't. And I said, okay,
yeah.
where can I go find it at? And they're like, well, you got to go all the way to this store. It was an hour and a half away. And I asked my
Oh,
wife, I said, are you sure you want me to go to do this? She's like, yes. So I know all about the hair stuff. Sorry to say that.
family too, okay? She got her family members strong as well. It's Donna's cousins out in the Donna's recipe streets, all right? But it's a real thing. Like everything I create is part of who I am. I'm
Yeah.
never gonna do something just for money. I'm never gonna just put my name on something. I just can't do that. It has to be real. Like even in Target, my food is 100% vegan. Like all of the items that I create is things that surround my family. It's things that I use every day. It's things that I want my families and my friends to enjoy. I love color. I'm very bright. I'm all about
Yeah,
fun sayings. So when you walk in Target, people say all the time, Tab, I know it's your collection because it feels like you.
it does.
I do that feel like me. I have a children's show called Tab Time because I'm passionate about children. I love them, but I also want them to be well in the world, right? As they grow up and become adults. And I want to deposit great things into them that they can hold on to. So everything I do it from a real place.
What do you
I
love about,
create.
I'm sorry to cut you off. What do you love about the next generation? You care about it deeply.
Yes. You know what I love about the next generation is I see them getting to be more fearless than we are.
Yeah,
They are way less fearful. They're not afraid to take chances. They're also not afraid to be who they are,
yeah,
right? And they are also okay with unlearning what they were taught by
yeah,
adults who have learned wrong.
yeah. It's amazing to me how much they are, Tabitha. And I don't know where this. I mean, people ask me, out with the state of our country, what do you think? I go, I'm very hopeful because the next
Yeah.
generation just tells me that we can be. Tabitha, I don't
That's
know what's. Last question I have for you, Miss Tabitha. I can't believe we're here. How do you say no to people? like when do you know I can't do this?
if it does not feel right to me, if it doesn't serve me, and sometimes if I'm just tired, uh, I'm too much and I've skipped rest, it's no.
Yeah,
And it's as simple as that. I say it with the most love and respect for myself and them. I say, you know what, it's gonna be a no for Tab. I'm not available right now. Or that's not in alignment with me, so it's a no. Or, it's just no with no explanation.
it's not an alignment for me. I think we miss that in life a lot, but you have so gained it. And my daughter told me to tell you, she goes, it is time for kids stuff with Tab. Like it's time for kids clothing. What did she say about her kids clothing, kids food? I was like, okay, I'm not telling her that. Well, of course I am, but she
Yeah.
has become another big fan of yours. Like on her iPad, I wish I had it down here. Your face is there. So I was like, where'd this come from? She goes, this is the card lady. She allows me to win against mommy. So I don't know what to say about that. But
When you tell her she is absolutely right and that Miss Tab is working on
I'm not going to because now I gotta go buy that stuff too. Like, no, no more. I'm joking. Miss Tab,
it.
thank you
Yeah.
so much. I gotta tell you, your staff has been the best. I
Oh,
appreciate our time together. It's been good. And you are now on my Thursday morning prayer list. So
thank I
thank
appreciate it.
I wish you well so much.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Have a good afternoon.